Welcome back to another episode of Who Should You Choose? I hope everyone had a great holidays. It is Boxing Day in Canada, and in today's video, we're going to touch on a lot of things. It looks like Caesar Series 2 X Factors are about to come out. This is recorded right before the content on Boxing Day, so for anyone that sees it, it will be 1 p.m. Eastern Time if you're going to watch this video right at launch. But I want to talk about the World Junior cards to start the episode because there's a lot of questions about like who should you take from the World Junior event. Guys, if you're new to the game, or you haven't really been a part of a lot of the fantasy events in the past, I want to stress this because you don't have to make a decision. So we're gonna go and show you here. The fantasy sets are in sets until December 31st at 5 p.m. Eastern Time. All right, so up until 5 p.m. Eastern Time in January, you can make any of the World Junior Master Set player or fantasy event player items up until that date and time. So that being said, it means that any of the goals they score up until then, starting today, because today is the first round of the round robin, if they score goals, they will go up +1 overall for a forward, +2 overall for a defenseman. And why this is important for you guys to remember when it comes to who should you make and who should you go after is if you go and look at the World Junior schedule right now, every team will play 3 games, and because it resets at 5 p.m. Eastern Time, you'll even see the 12 and 2:30 p.m. game Eastern Time on that day, which would be Switzerland and Kazakhstan. So Switzerland's, I believe, is Mugli. If he scores in that game, you'll be able to know right away, but you have to be at your console, obviously. And then 2:30 p.m. Eastern Time is Finland. So you'll actually be able to see most of the Finland and Latvia game. The Canada and U.S. New Year's Eve game, which is always one of the best. We won't know, obviously, because the sets will be gone then, as well as Czechia and Sweden. So any of the players in those games, you won't get that 4th game, right? And then afterwards, then it's a crapshoot because then it goes into games that we're not gonna see. So it looks like every team is guaranteed 5 games because technically there'd be 4 round robin games, I believe, for each team. And then for the teams that don't make the tournament, the medal round tournament, the quarterfinals, they go to relegation, and there isn't anything saying that the relegation games don't count. So even if you're a fan of a team or you've got a player like Latvia or Switzerland or whoever, Germany that doesn't make it and they go into the relegation round, even Slovakia, Kazakhstan, they'll get another game. They'll get the relegation game. And then obviously if they go on and the teams that go on to the medal rounds and everything like that, they'll get a little bit extra more. So obviously Jaeger from Canada and Carey Terrence. Casey Tan, I don't know why I was mixed that up. From the U.S., will obviously get some more games as well, but who knows? But that being said, get the collectibles to make 1. And then just wait and see. None of these cards are going to hit 99. No one is going to break, Peter Forsberg's goal or point record during the World Juniors this year, more than likely. And Bedard is not in the tournament. So all of these options, they're probably going to hit around 90. And some won't even upgrade at all, right? So I just wanted to make sure everyone's aware of that. If you want to get involved in the event, let's say you're going to watch every game, you're a big, Canada World Junior team, go and make Jaeger immediately because it's way more fun. Just like we've seen from the fantasy event, it's way more fun to be watching the games if you have a little bit more invested in it, right? So if you are going to watch every game, then yeah, make your players, make your favorite players, if you're from Europe and you're from Sweden, go make the Swedish guy, go make Axel Sandin Polika, go make him regardless, right? But if you want to make sure that you get the best option available, which is what everyone usually wants, right? Just wait until New Year's Eve if you can, or as late as you can because you're not at your console or whatever, right? So just want to make sure everyone's aware of that. You can do the set afterwards, and I want to make sure that everyone was aware of that. All right, so let's get into today's questions. Hey, slaves, I'm currently sitting on 1 million coins, and I'm not sure what I should do with all my coins. So right now, guys, we're going through like a bit of a market crash. Everyone bought those Boxing Day and Christmas Day packs, So that being said, I wouldn't buy packs right now with coins, even if they're decent value, except the an ultimate starter pack or whatever, where it was an X Factor, a base X Factor, a team builder, a power, a vintage and a modern power up icon. Those are just great packs. Those are fantastic. So I would definitely recommend buying those if you're working towards any of them, because even just one of them is worth like 100K regardless. So I would grab those if you want, if you're going to work towards. If you already have McDavid, or a team builder you're not really interested in making anymore, then you probably avoid. You don't really need to make those packs. Outside of that, I would go and buy up all the set fodder. So if you wanted to make McDavid, you're close. Go and buy a bunch of 75s because they're going for like less than 2,600 coins, right? They will go back up when Series 2 drops, which might be today. They will go back up if they require 75s or whatever they require. But it looks like all the set fodder and everything like that, even if you just started the game and you've got a bunch of coins from doing objectives, you could go and get like, some cards like the 86 Kairu, or even like the team of the week McKinnon from before. Those cards, because even those cards have crashed in price because all these packs have been opened, and it's really tanked the market. It will balance out though. Those will go back up. So be aware of that. But I would be, if you had 1,000,000 coins, man, I'd probably work towards, if you have a hologram, go and try and buy some 76 and above cards, to get a hologram. It's never been cheaper right now. Hey, Slaves, happy Christmas. I hope you had a great time with the fam. I did. For everyone, I hope you had a great holidays as well. I tried to leave a comment earlier with the link of my team to your hut builder, but I think I got flagged and taken down, so I'll try again. I've got a normal question, a lineup question. I took your advice, and I'm going to make Frozen Forces McDavid. I'm only 3 X Factors away from my second captain. I'm going to shift my attention to the Gretzky Hollow since I've been playing Hut for 4 years now. I never had a Gretzky card before. So my question is, what should I do with the remaining X Factors? I could still make a captain, though, through free discounted packs, probably make Nylander since I'm a Leafs fan. And for my lineup question, I have enough fodder to make another Frozen Forces MSP after McDavid. I know I need a decor upgrade, but I'm not sure who to make. I could make Hamilton since I'm a fan of his because of my fantasy league, or I can make Riley because I know I need an upgrade on my left-handed D-man again, and the Leafs fan. Thoughts? Always make your favorite players. I'd make Riley because you're a Leafs fan. When it comes to what should you do with your X Factors, I would slow play making X Factors like McDavid now. So we've seen that they will come out with packs periodically that you can use with coins where you get a free base X Factor and things like that, right? Now, my guess is that when Series 2 comes out, it'll be like the women X Factors where it requires 78s, I believe, and above, or 77. 75s won't be, but maybe I'm wrong. But if 75s are not required, anytime I got a 75, they're useless then other than making McDavid. I would throw all 75s and into the X Factors, slowly do it, get those X Factor packs when they come out in the store. If they release them, anytime that they come out with like a promo for them, I would do it just very slowly, if you're going to play all year. That being said, switching your focus to Gretzky, again, it's far cheaper to make Gretzky than it is McDavid. It's almost 4 million coins cheaper. So when it comes to making your MSP, I'm in this situation too. I made Dougie Hamilton because I'm a diehard Ice Dogs fan. But Sider's an option. Werenski's an option. If you're going to make a second one, wait until the Friday when Gallery of Greats comes out. See if there's a better option there. And if there isn't, those Frozen Forces sets will still be there for another week or two. So you don't have to make your decision right now. Looking at your lineup here, I think that you might need another centerman. So even Suzuki might be a better option, although your decor is pretty rough. If you're going to get Hedman, that'd be pretty huge. If you got Hedman, that would really be beneficial, but Werenski actually might be the play. Hey, Sleeves, I hope you had an amazing Christmas with your family. Question for you. I packed a tradable Frozen Forces Dougie Hamilton. I already made Sider, and I plan on keeping him as my top line right-handed defender. Would you trade in Hamilton to get Frozen Forces McDavid, or should I take the coins? It'd be very easy to make another 88 Frozen Forces traded. If you can make another 88, then do that. But obviously, offset the coins, right? So I would sell tradable Dougie Hamilton, but remember, as long as you're not spending more coins to make another 8. You guys, by the time this event is over, unless you are over 2 X Factor captains towards McDavid, you need to have McDavid because you will regret it if you don't. The X Factor McDavid needs to be your first priority if you're just starting the game, or if you've got less than 2 X Factor captains. That card is the best card in the game right now, even slightly better than his, other than the fantasy cards, obviously, better than his supercharged card. It's close because of the free zone ability, but even has 90 face-off, so. Ice Slaves, I think Sundin is def number 1 vintage icon to take. The speed burst synergy is kind of easy to make, more easier than I thought too. If you get the gold coach for 10K and 2 goalies, Sundin goes up to 88 speed. I agree. I think that the boost synergies, now if you put a focus on them with goaltenders and that gold coaches are more viable and available, you could definitely get the boost synergies activated. I think Sundin is the best vintage. I know I hummed and hawed about, modern. Sundin is a modern one, sorry. Hummed and hawed about Niedermeyer, Lindstrom maybe. But I thought about it, like Sundin, again, even if you don't play him, you've got better centermen. That is a fourth line center that you can hide down there until he gets upgrades, or maybe he gets fast enough and you can put him higher in your lineup. With free gold quick draw and a good face-off rating that you can win any face-off when you need to. That benefit is more than any of the other icons other than like Gretzky and so on. So I definitely would recommend that. How do you defend against those players who just skate circles using protect puck? And you either end up getting a tripping or slashing call. I can't do anything usually, and it's super frustrating. So this is what happens when you get into Division 2. Talked about this a lot. You stop playing hockey and you start playing the game of EA NHL. And it's unfortunate, but that's just the meta this year. So basically what'll happen is it's everyone sitting for a D2D one-timer or a one-timer of any kind, and it's players just circling around, waiting for someone to make a mistake, and you're just waiting and waiting and waiting. I would recommend using my settings and strategies and getting used to manual player select. And in my video, my settings and strategies video, I show you how to use manual player select. You have to be patient. And you have to be, this is the hardest part, especially when you get down a goal. You have to not chase and just be okay with them essentially tiring themselves out. Because most players, even the good ones, will get impatient when you don't give anything up. And the really good ones will just circle for hours. Like, that's really the difference. It's crazy and it sucks, but that's just what it is. Unfortunately, that's the meta this year at the high end. Lineup question. I'm close to Hedman, have enough to make Makar, or do I save the coins or something else? So you're trying to make cover athlete Makar, who is hilariously still one of the best defensemen, guys. It's funny because like that card, when I do rankings videos and I put cards in the S tier, it's with the thought of that those cards will be valuable or usable in like 2 months. If a card is usable in 2 months from an event, that's a massive win because they're not terribly expensive to make. Usually you get one for free and they can just be in your lineup forever. Makar is still arguably like one of the best ones at 85 overall. So I'm close to Hedman and I have enough to make Makar. Or do I save this coin for something else? So you've got Sider, Faber, and Montour. On the other side, you're going to have the 86 Hughes with the free zone ability, Wallman, Forsling. Wait, you have Wallman and Montour. You don't need Makar. No, you don't. Probably save those coins. Anyone aware of how many days will the Christmas player choice be available? I'm traveling until early January. I don't want to miss it. I don't remember the exact day, but you've got like a couple weeks to get it. It's early January. I apologize. If anyone in the comment section wants to write it down, I can't remember the exact day. Lineup question. Super pumped to finally have gotten X Factor McDavid, but Kucherov's 89 is coming along with me recently, making Hossa has made my right wings quite the logjam and center lacking. Right now, my lines are Bedard, X Factor McDavid, Kucherov, Gordy, Barkov, Hossa, Solani, Gretzky, Hughes, Eichel, Stevie Y, and Team of the Week Robitaille. My main problem right now is my first line usually starts without the puck because of McDavid's lower faceoff rating, but if I move him to the wing, I'm losing Luke, and Jack Hughes gets fourth line minutes. Hossa probably getting third line minute in this situation too. This is why in my video, guys, I said that I'd rather have Backstrom than Hossa, because Hossa is, whenever you have a card, no matter how good it is, if it can only play one position, it's like you get to situations like this. We're at the mercy of EA just not giving us choice packs. Like JT, for example. JT Miller. Great card. I didn't need another center or left-handed player. I needed a right-handed winger, right? But it is what it is. So now everyone gets that card. It's like, okay, that's going to bump something that I already have a decent lineup with. As for backup center options, I'm currently right on the bench. Coyle, Middlestad, Celebrini, Kopitar, and Trocheck. Fantasy going about as well as me as the Red Wing season. Anyways, appreciate the advice. Merry Christmas. Xmas Miracle pulled an 88 team of the week point. Definitely rounds out the lineup, but still curious how you'd set the lines. Ooh. I would personally put McDavid on the wing and put Point at center. God. I don't know if you've been liking that Bedard. Yeah, that point pull is pretty huge, man. I put him at center. You can even put Barkov up there, and just McDavid on the wing is just such an advantage. Hey, Slaves, loving your content this year. The quality keeps going up, and you really make the game better for us dudes above 30. I'm happy to hear that, dude. I'm in high Div 3, and I started playing against players ragging the offensive zone. They play the puck around the zone until my players are tired, and they force the 1T or D to D. When facing these types of players, I usually have a forward to shut down the D to D, but eventually one slips in if they don't snipe short side due to me being the defenseman instead of pressuring the puck carrier. Are there any strategies to get my CPU to be more aggressive against such opponents, or what is the correct play here? Seems like I'm a guaranteed loss if they play passively and play the puck around my ozone. So what you need to do is when they got set up and they dump the puck in, you want to select your weak side winger. So the weak side is the side that the puck is not on. So if the bottom left, then your top right winger is who you want to select, right? And honestly, if they are just doing this, then you want to sit about 15 feet inside the blue line so that you can make a beeline to the point. The reason why you want to sit here, you can set up with staggered, but I don't think that staggered puts enough pressure on your players to get close enough to cover the D to D one timer pass. So what I do is I sit kind of in the middle of the block or right on that D to D one timer, and then when I notice that they're going to cut into the middle, they've made that commitment, I'll beeline straight down, and you stick check there. But the problem is you have to be okay with them and getting some massive time on attack. Eventually, a lot of the players that do this only and only look for DD one timers are not that very good at the game in the sense that they don't have the vision or the creativity, especially if you're in Div 3, the creativity to come up with something else when you're defending the one play they want. So what'll end up happening is they will cut into the middle or take a weak shot or force a one timer and you're able to get a breakaway. You just have to be more patient than them. The second you overcommit to the player that's along the boards, you've given up the 1T option at the point, or you've given up the slot, and it's really easy to just walk in. You have to just be like, go ahead and tire yourself out, kiddo, and watch them run around. And that's all you got to do is cover the D one timer, as well as when they start cutting into the middle, that's when you make your move straight down. And it takes some effort. If you watch my strategies and settings video, like I said, I go over how to defend that. At the beginning of the game, we could trade in lots of 79s to get MSP players. Right now, it went up to lots of 81s to get Frozen Forces MSPs. Is it a good idea to stack up on 83 overalls? They're almost the same price for upcoming events. It's always the best. This is the most blanket market tip that I can give you guys. Go and look at the lowest overall for an event. So 81s for this event, right? And then go and look and see if 83s or 84s are going for the same price, or even 82s, and you want to buy the highest overall that is the same as the lowest overall usable for an event, if that makes sense. So if 81s are going for, let's say, 5K, and you see that 83s are going for also 5K because they're not usable in other things. I'm using this as an example. Buy the 83s because at some point, because of progression, you will make your money back. That is it. Like that is the easiest blatant market tip. You could do this all year long and you would make infinite coins. Now, obviously, at a certain point, you want to spend your coins or you want to make the MSPs, and that's where but like that's the blanket market tip. That's why I don't give out market tip videos. Like, cause that's it. That's literally how you make coins in this game. You just repeat that process over and over again. It's just boring because you're not getting any new cards and you're spending your resources on like getting more coins. But this is a yearly game, and really, sports games are a 6-month cycle game. So you've got 6 months to spend all your stuff, right? And that's like the hard part of it, where it gets kind of boring. What 2 X Factor captains are you going to keep BND? I kept, if you didn't watch my No Money Spent video, I kept Nylander and I kept Kucherov. There's just so many good defenseman options that are bigger than Fox and Heiskin, and I don't trust them getting upgrades. I don't trust Kucherov or Nylander getting upgrades either, but, eventually they have a higher chance of doing it. So that's what I went with. Hey slaves, appreciate all you do for the community. Question about the DualSense Edge controller. Can you share your settings you're running with your joystick sensitivities? I can find info for other games with bigger communities like COD and FIFA, but there's not much to shell. Thanks. I just use the default. Like the Edge controller, guys, has been so massive because I've talked about this a lot. Sony got sued the company that made their launch controllers. My Edge controller I got before NHL 24, about a month before in August, so over a year and a half ago. And before that, this was my 15th PlayStation 5 controller since launch of the console itself, which is absurd. The way that NHL is played, it is so bad on your sticks, and Sony had Sony's PS5 has been such a disaster of a console, in my opinion. That being said, the controllers are just made so poorly. And the amount of stick drift that you have, you probably don't even notice. You don't notice it until you do. You'll notice it like when you go to take face-offs or you go to shoot, and it'll be like way to the right. That being said, the Edge controller is the only controller that is held up. I have had it for 15 months. I play well more than 1,500 hours a year into the game, and I have not had to replace anything. So I use the default settings, whatever it comes with. I don't really mess around with that. And it's just the reason why it's such a good controller is because an NHL doesn't wreck your sticks because of the stick drift. So something to keep in mind, man. And I hope that helps. All right, that's going to do it, guys. Again, happy holidays. Hope you had a great one. I'll be back with the new content video today going over all of the newest stuff. It might just be Stars of the Month, but it might be X Factors. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. Thank you guys again for watching. I'll see you next time. Have a good one.